This video contains spoilers for Berserk and was inspired by a conversation I had with ChatGPT about the demise of Griffith during the Golden Arc. Griffith seems to be one of the most hated characters of all time, and I've seen videos recommended to me based on that. Now, I have not finished the manga, so I can't speak on the rest. I'm currently on the 23rd volume, but I think the hatred mainly comes from the betrayal during the Golden Arc, the rape of Casca, and the sacrifice of the Band of the Hawk. I'm not going to recap the story. Instead, I want to look into what caused Griffith's demise and what we can learn from him, especially those of us who are trying to achieve our own dreams. Part 1. The Greatness of Griffith. Griffith truly was a great man. He looked after his comrades and even sacrificed his own body and pride to lessen the bloodshed in battle. He cared for the Band of the Hawk, even though he didn't want to show it. This is best demonstrated when he cloves himself until he bleeds in the river in front of Casca. He truly was the White Hawk. He truly was great. He truly was the rightful king, and he was the man that Charlotte desired and the kingdom needed. Even though he didn't show it, things took a toll on him and he was human. In his encounters with Charlotte, it was his honesty that made him more attractive, and his deep understanding of how the world works was also very desirable. It is not necessarily the fact that he wanted to make tough decisions, it was more that his dream demanded it from him. For example, not seeing those beneath him as friends. This rings true because those who aid you in your dream are more like disciples than friends. It also works as a defense mechanism, because eventually those disciples will likely perish in battle, betray you, or even leave on their own accord. This, I think he knew, but what Griffith didn't realize was that the one who was his most promising soldier, the one who he allowed to see his dark side, the one who knew Griffith for what he really was, an uncompromising voyager of his own dream, had become something more. Something Griffith cared for deeply and wished to have at his side. Casca seems to be the only one who understood this and knew that Griffith's relationship with Guts was different. Griffith cared for Guts, Griffith understood Guts, and Griffith appreciated Guts. Part 2. The Departure of Guts. In the past, a departure from a soldier would not have been acceptable, at least not from a soldier Griffith desired for his army. Griffith always fought for what he desired and would risk his life to get it and to keep it. For example, Griffith's first fight with Guts. This notion of Griffith's that everything valuable must be fought for was rarely tested. Who would want to leave Griffith's grace? Only a madman or someone who wished to succeed by his own merit, someone worthy of becoming a true friend. When Guts decides to leave for good, Griffith at first thinks of it as the same old game, something to fight for, and if he loses, so be it. But in losing Guts, he loses something else, his pride, his way of being. In desperation, not understanding this new feeling of losing, he saw his dream slip further away than he had anticipated. Desperate, he grabs at what he believes is rightfully his, Charlotte, the key to the kingdom. But the time was not right. And this method of trying to harvest before the crops are fully developed led to his eventual demise. The act itself was not fatal, but the intent behind it was. Blind impatience and a rushed sense of taking what you think you deserve instead of picking the fruit when it's fully grown. Part 3. The Fall and the Sacrifice. Griffith knew sacrifices needed to be made. He knew that you reap what you sow. But this crucial mistake led him to being tortured unjustly for a year. And there, in the darkness, his dream began to die. Later, when the eclipse comes, he justifies the sacrifice of the Band of the Hawk as being no different than from soldiers falling in battle, and it is a good argument. Most of his men had died during battles anyway. But the truth is, before, they died for their own dreams, which were buried inside of Griffith's enormous dream, the Inferno. During the eclipse, he used them as currency to purchase a broken version of his dream, instead of earning it or letting it just die with dignity. And as a final cruelty, unable to see Guts surpass him in valor, he takes the other thing which he believed was rightfully his, Casca's innocence and soul. Griffith's Golden Arc story is the story of the failure of an unrealized dream. It is the story of the failure of pride at the very moment when humility and patience were necessary.